one of the largest private education institutions in South Africa, has been forced to deregister 4 of its brands and affecting about 13,000 students. What's going on?
Explain Well. Exclusive to The Drive with Robin Ross.
Well, it's a mess. That's what's going on.
Ja, dit is. En die regering het natuurlik ook 'n persverklaring uitgereik toe dit gebeur het. En as jy daardeur lees, kan jy sien dat daar verskeie kwessies is. Dit is nie net die finansiële state wat nie geklop het nie. Dit is 'n hele klomp ander goed wat ook hierdie registrasie geaffekteer het. And these include poor quality of teaching and learning, lack of proper administrative staff, corruption and bribery, lack of response for requests for refunds, lack of professionalism. This is not stuff that you want to hear about tertiary institutions.
Absolutely not. The company is called EduCore. They're a big network of colleges, and the ones that are affected here are Damlin, City Varsity, Intec Lyceum, and Ikisa City campuses. And all in, it's about 13,000 students around the country. Now, Minister Bladen Zimande has deregistered all of those 4, so Damlin, City Varsity, Intec, and Ikisa. Now, because the financial statements and the tax certificates and things aren't in order. But as Rosie said, there have been complaints going back. Some of the eyewitness accounts that I've read from students are saying, like, we've been writing exams and they haven't been marked because the staff haven't been paid. So the staff aren't doing the marking. So how do I know whether or not I have a certificate? And I mean, that's untenable.
Exactly. Also, all of these things were addressed and they had a deadline of September 2023 to address these things. So dit is nie net asof hierdie nou in Januarie 2024 gebeur het nie, dat hulle nie geweet het dat daar al hierdie klagtes en al hierdie goed wat nie uitwerk by hierdie institutions is nie. So they were given the time to submit. They were also given time to lodge an appeal. And dololo.
Yeah, so now the Council for Higher Education has said all 4 of those must immediately cease operations. They've been given until October this year that they can appeal this decision. And I mean, if they want to keep those places open, they better appeal as fast as possible. Yeah. But the problem is now, so they're sort of saying for this calendar year, they have to minimize their operations as far as possible. I don't know what practically that means because they can't really continue with classes as is. But they've also been instructed to, pay students back their registration fees and their monies, find them places at alternative institutions and so on. But if you've paid some of these courses 70,000 Rand for the year, as parents, you've struggled, you've put it all together, you've paid the money for your kid, they're going to go and get their final year of, whatever certificate we're on here, you're going to go get a higher diploma in something, and all of a sudden it's gone.
So you just mentioned that they could operate like on maybe a smaller scale, or they could kind of, I don't know. But the thing is, would you as a student want to go back to an institution that has been this negligent and has been proven to be complained against and has been negligent? I wouldn't want to go back there.
Yeah, exactly. And you're in that catch-22 now of you might not have a choice. It might be that or nothing, and that is not acceptable. So we're in the situation where 13,000 students around the country are going to be effectively deregistered from college.
It sounds though, I have to say, that there will be an opportunity for some of these people to try and get their money back. So it would be interesting to see if that is going to happen at all. And I've also seen some of the other private institutions saying, you know what, don't worry about it. If you have a certain level, or if you've done certain subjects, you can just enroll in the areas where you've been studied, like in some of those fields. Just an interesting thing. Before we wrap this up, we also received at the newsroom a statement from the South African Federation of Trade Unions, and they made a suggestion that they are saying that EduCore has to be nationalized. They want the workers there to be absorbed by the government, and they want the students to be placed under new public institutions. Just putting it out there.
I mean, fair enough. That's a claim you can make. Honestly, anything to help out people who are trying to get an education. It's one of the hardest things to get done in South Africa. It's one of the hardest things for so many people to pay for. It's often, first-time people and families going into higher education institutions. We can't have the fact that a company can't get its audited statements in line to hand in. You know, you can't get the accountancy done, so somebody else doesn't get a qualification that might be life-changing, not only for them or their family. It's not good enough.
Not at all.
So this is a thing we'll keep an eye on. Apparently no one has heard from the company yet. There don't seem to be any statements issued. We'll keep trying. We try to chat to them again this afternoon. Ons sal sien. But yeah, 13,000 students at the moment that seem like they have nowhere to go, and that's not fair.